Perhaps you're a person who already has the original 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and you're saying to yourself, well, why would I buy the revised edition? Well, it just is simply very simple, that you just have to understand that 75% of the revised is new material. You see, if you fell in love with the first book, you're going to fall more in love with the second book, because it's just going to take you to a higher level as far as understanding each one of the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Law number 1 is the law of the lid. Leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. This is probably law number 1 because I want people to understand that if they do not learn how to lead effectively, there will be a limit on their success. I've often said that leadership truly is the lid, and a person who wants to grow and an organization who wants to develop, if it only has between a 1 and a 10, a 4 or a 5 average type of leadership at the head, that organization is only going to be a 3 or a 4. It cannot grow beyond the lid of leadership in that organization. Now, the moment that you and I understand that as a person, as a leader, we begin to realize that the number that we are, our leadership lid, is going to determine basically what our organization looks like. So I put the law of the lid first, maybe not because it's most important, but it kind of just sets the agenda for understanding leadership. You better learn how to lead if you really want to be effective in life. That is the law of the lid. Law number 2 is the law of influence. The true measure of leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. In fact, my favorite leadership proverb is, "He that thinketh he leadeth and hath no one following him is only taking a walk." And you and I know a lot of people that have leadership titles and positions, and they're taking walks. There aren't anybody following them. Why? Because they have failed to understand that it's not the title or the position that influences people, it's the relationships. Leadership is a lot about relationships and effectively influencing others. When you look at some of the greatest leaders of the last century, they didn't have the highest of leadership positions or titles. How about Mother Teresa? My goodness, this nun in Calcutta influenced the world, was an incredible leader, but she never had a high leadership position. In fact, I would challenge you, some of the greatest leaders this world has ever known never had the highest titles, but they were highly influential. Law number 3 is the law of process. Leadership develops daily, not in a day. When I teach leadership, this is something that I really emphasize, the fact that you cannot learn to be a great leader just by going to an event or by listening to a good leader speak or even by reading a leadership book. It's a process. It takes time. You know, too often we want to develop leaders quickly. In fact, people come up to me and say, "John, I'm so glad you're going to teach today because at the end of the day, I think I'll become a leader." Well, no. You just start the journey. Sadly, too many times in organizations, we try to, what I call microwave leaders. We grab them, stick them in the microwave, push the numbers and zap them, and no wonder they come out kind of like Pop-Tart leaders. I mean, you can't do that. Instead of microwaving leaders, you have to crock-pot them. You have to let them have time to learn, listen, assimilate, experience. But if you do allow the law of the process to become effective in your life, in a matter of time, I know, months, years, yes, but in a matter of time, you will become marinated and crock-pot in the right way, and you'll become the mature, experienced leader that you really want to be.